Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Completionist. For this episode, I'm going to show you how to complete my first fighting game for the Nintendo Wii. And that fighting game is Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the Nintendo Wii. Now, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is a fighting game that was released in 2010 for the Nintendo Wii, and it is literally the best fighting game for that system thus far. So guys, with regards to completing Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, you are going to have to invest a little bit of time into it. You will have to invest at a minimum 30 hours in order to consider this game fully completed. Now, this game has a ton of things to do in order to consider this game completely and utterly done. The biggest time-consuming thing that this game is going to do to you is that you have to beat the game with every character. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to unlock all the other characters in the game, and then you have to beat the game with every single character. Now, once you beat the game with every single character, you should unlock the majority of stuff in the shop. And in the shop, you can use money that you get from beating the game to buy specific things in the shop, such as character artwork, movies, different colors for the characters, and even stage designs. So that's probably going to be the biggest completionist aspect when it comes to getting this game finished. Now, this game also has a mini game as well that you need to complete as well in order to consider it fully completed. Now, one of the things that you do have working in your favor when it comes to completing this game is that one of the menus in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is called Play Data. And what Play Data does is Play Data keeps a record of how your completionist percentage is looking. You can actually see how much of the game that you have completed thus far. So I highly recommend that you keep checking that Play Data screen, especially if you want to have this game completed. Now, the other thing that you need to watch out for in terms of completing this game is that there are icons called player settings icons that you can set up on your Wi-Fi connection. Now, player setting icons can get unlocked in a variety of different ways, but I would not focus getting those icons until you have everything else in the game completed. And icons get unlocked as you meet specific requirements in the game, such as you'll get different icons if you finish the mini game that the game has to offer, if you play versus mode at least 10 times, if you've logged 30 hours into the game. So I'm going to go into great detail on how to get some of those player icons. So anyway guys, with Tatsunoko vs. Capcom in hand, let me show you how to fully complete Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the Nintendo Wii. So guys, here is Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. So let's get started and I'll show you how to fully complete this game. So guys, before we get into anything, the first thing I wanted to show you is how you keep record of how much of the game you actually have completed. So we're going to go to the setting called Play Data. And in Play Data, it's going to show you your play time and your complete rate and your number of clears and the amount of money you have right now and the total money earned. So as you see right now, I have 100%. I put 31 hours into this game in order to fully complete it. So this is going to give you a rough idea of the amount of time that you might have to put into it in terms of completing it. So guys, the first and most fundamental thing you need to do in order to fully complete this game is that you need to beat the game with every character that this game has to offer. Now, this game has a total of 26 different characters. But when you start playing this game for the first time, you only have 21 characters available to you. So one of the first things you need to get out of the way is that you need to unlock all the secret characters. Now, on the Capcom side, the first secret character is Frank West. And you get Frank West by beating the game with 3 Capcom characters. And the second secret Capcom character is Zero. And you get Zero by beating the game with 6 different Capcom characters. Now on the Tatsunoko side, The first Tatsunoko secret character is Tekkaman Blade. And you get Tekkaman Blade by beating the game with 3 different Tatsunoko characters. And the second secret character on the Tatsunoko side is Joe the Condor. And you get Joe the Condor when you beat the game with 6 different Tatsunoko characters. And the final secret character is Yatterman number 2. And you get Yatterman number 2 by beating the game with the 4 secret characters, Tekkaman Blade, Joe the Condor, Zero, and Frank West. So these are how you get all the secret characters in the game. So guys, this is going to be the mode that you're going to spend the majority of your time in terms of completing this game. So in an arcade mode, you select 2 characters and you just traverse through the game until you fight the final boss. Now when you're playing the game for the first time, every time that you beat the game with a specific character, you're going to unlock a whole bunch of stuff in the shop, and then at the end of the game, you're going to be given a certain amount of money, and you use that money in terms of buying stuff in the shop to make sure that you have everything in this game fully completed. So let's go into arcade mode.
Select your heroes.
Now guys, one of the things that I do recommend is that if you want to keep track of the characters that you have beaten the game with, I suggest starting with Ryu and just working your way to the right. So at least that way you won't get lost in terms of what characters you have completed the game with. So anyway, I'm going to select Ryu as my first character, and I'll select Chun-Li as my second player. And as I'm playing, guys, I'm going to show you some of the things you need to watch out for, especially when it comes to unlocking all the things that this game has to offer. So guys, compared to all the other fighting games out there right now, this is actually one of the easier ones to play. But keep in mind with most fighting games that they can be easy to play, but they are hard to master. So find the characters that work well with you, and just keep in mind that with this game that you do have 2 supers and 1 ultra. So let me see if I can pull off one of the supers right now. And this is one of Chun-Li's supers, so let me see if I can get her ultra, and there it is. So each character in the game has 2 supers and 1 ultra, so definitely exploit them to do the maximum damage to your enemy. So guys, here is the mid-boss of the game, and the mid-boss will always appear as the 4th stage. Now the reason why the mid-boss plays a very important role with regards to getting this game fully completed is all depending on the character that you beat the game with. You unlock the 3rd costume color for that character, so always keep that in mind. And this is one of the 2 sub-bosses that you'll fight, and the sub-boss is all dependent on which character you actually choose. So as you see me right now, I have defeated the sub-boss, so therefore if I was playing this game for the first time, I would unlock the 3rd color for Ryu. So guys, this is the first form of the final boss, known as Yami. And to be honest, this is probably his most annoying form. Now the thing is that you need to defeat this boss 3 times to end the game. Now this boss does work the same way that the sub-boss does, is that if you defeat the sub-boss with a specific character, you get to unlock the 4th costume for that character. So if Ryu delivers the final blow on the boss's 3rd form, then his 4th color for his costume will be unlocked. So always keep that in mind. So let me defeat his 1st form. This is Yami's 2nd form, and to be honest, it's probably his easiest form I find out of all 3 of his forms. So just keep nailing him with supers. So guys, this is Yami's 3rd form, and it is his most powerful form. So just keep in mind that when you're trying to complete this game, that whatever ending you're trying to get for this character, and the 4th costume color you need to beat and deliver the final blow with the specified character that you want. And as you see, I delivered the final blow with Chun-Li, so I will unlock her 4th color for her costume, and I'll get her ending as well. And every time you beat the game with a different character, you'll get a little story sequence, which shows you 3 different scenes. So guys, during the credits, if you press the A button, you get Doronjo and her minions. And you basically travel the credit screen, and you have to grab specific characters that are a different color than the rest of the characters, like this N here. And if you grab all of them, you get to spell out the message, "Thank you for playing." And if you spell out the entire message, you get to play a mini game called Ultimate All Shooters. And this is one of the things you need to do in terms of completing this game. And the only button that you have is pretty much jump. So even if you fall into one of the pits, if you just press the A button again, Doronjo and her minions will appear again, so you can try to grab the rest of the letters. See? And I just press the jump, and there they're back again. So keep that in mind and try to grab all of the characters that are different colors than the rest of the credits. Now, as you see here, I managed to grab all the characters except for one, so you need to grab them all. Now guys, one other thing I wanted to specify as well is that during the credits, if you have a hard time trying to get all the letters with Doronjo and her minions, if you actually beat Yami with Roll, you get a different silhouette, and it's actually Roll on her broom, and you can actually get the characters that way. And to be honest, she is very easy to control because you only need the directional pad just to move her up or down or left or right. So if you do have any problems unlocking the Ultimate All Shooters minigame, just beat the game with Roll, and you get the Roll version of the minigame, which is definitely a lot easier. So always keep that in mind. And see, with Roll, I just finished the entire sentence.
Game over.
So guys, when the game over screen hits, and you press the A button again, you'll be given a specific amount of money that you can use to buy items in the shop. But it's also in this screen that it will also show you what you've unlocked as well, with regards to special illustrations, character colors, character costumes, or anything along those lines. So you're going to have to play the game quite a few times to build up enough money to buy everything in the shop, so always keep that in mind. So guys, that about covers the basic things you need to do in terms of playing the game on arcade mode. Now, once you get a half-decent amount of money, another thing that you need to do in order to complete this game is that you need to buy everything that the shop has to offer. So let's go into the shop. And as you see, there's nothing there because I pretty much bought everything that the shop has to offer. So guys, in order to know what you bought from the shop so you can see it, you need to go into gallery mode. So let's do that now. In gallery mode, it's divided into 4 sections: characters, stages, movies, and special illustrations. So let's start off with characters. So let's select a character at random. Let's try Morgan. In Morgan, you get her main illustration and her 3 ending illustrations if you do complete the game with her, and that is beating the final boss with this character. If you select the right directional button, you get to see her 3D model, in which you can play her voices and anything along those lines. And it is in this 3D model that you get to see all 4 colors of the character. So if you want to make sure that you have all 4 colors of the character, you just bring up the 3D model and you press the Y button. So I'll do that now. This is her original color. This is her second color. This is her third color. And this is her fourth color. Just remember that each character only has 4 colors. And as I said before, you get the third color of the character by defeating the sub-boss with that specified character, and you get the 4th color by defeating Yami with that specified character. So guys, when it comes to the stages, you can pretty much buy the artwork of the stages in the shop right at the very beginning. So let's go into stages. And in the shop you can buy the stages, so you can definitely pick a stage and look at everything that the stage has to offer. So let's pick one, for example. Let's pick the Land Castle. And there it is. Another section of the gallery is known as movies. So let's go into movies. So all 3 movies you need to buy in the shop. The opening movie is already available to you. You get the opening movie 2 once you unlock Yatterman 2. And the extra movie becomes available in the shop once you beat the game with Frank West, Zero, Tekkaman Blade, Joe the Condor, and Yatterman 2. And you need to buy all 3 movies in the shop. The final section of the gallery is known as Special Illustrations. Special Illustration number 1 is already available to you in the shop for purchase. You get Special Illustration 2 available in the shop if you beat the game 5 times. You get Special Illustration 3 in the shop if you beat the game 10 times. You get Special Illustration 4 if you beat the game 15 times. And you unlock the final Special Illustration if you beat the game 20 times. So guys, that officially takes care of part 1 on how to complete Tatsunoko vs. Capcom for the Nintendo Wii. So stay tuned for part 2, in which I'll show you how to fully complete the minigame known as Ultimate All Shooters. And we'll also look at how to unlock every player icon that this game has to offer. So anyway guys, as always, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best. Until part 2.